What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another sports betting video. My name is Lee Largo, and we are going to be going over official picks for the Thanksgiving game slate, as well as the Black Friday game. I'm going to be traveling tomorrow and back home on Friday, so that's why there's not going to be a video the actual day of. I like to get these done at least a day in advance. Anyway, so especially with a game starting at noon, always wise to get these picks out the day before. And there's also some pretty significant injury news for some of these teams going forward. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this Packers-Lions game. Right now, this line is sitting hard at a 7.5. It has been sitting there for a few days, and I think a lot of it's just based off of how effective the Packers were on what was it? Did they win that game against the Chargers? Yes, I think. Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, Quentin Johnston dropping that pass. That's right, for the Chargers. So yeah, they just looked effective on offense, pretty good on defense. But again, the Chargers team under Brandon Staley has just been constant underachievers. Justin Herbert is obviously one of the top young quarterbacks in the league, yet he is constantly being let down by this team, by the rest of his team and the coaching staff, in my opinion. This is probably one of the, outside of the Joey Bosa injury, this is one of the healthiest seasons, I believe. Mike Williams, obviously. Well, now that I think about it, my mind is like catching up to my, catching up to me, my memory, I should say. Yeah, Mike Williams is out, Palmer is out, and now Joey Bosa looks like it's out. So, again, Chargers as usual, dealing with some injuries. I've seen years where they've had it a lot worse, but it's really unfortunate. So, I think this is more a testament to just how inconsistent the Chargers play as opposed to how good the Packers really are on offense. So I think the Lions, if you buy the line a full point down to 6.5, I think that's your best bet just to be safe in case it is a one touchdown game. You could even tease it, 6-point teaser for all four games really. Tease the Lions, Cowboys, Niners, and Dolphins all the way down, and you should get some pretty decent coin on that, in my opinion. But if you're just going straight bets, I think if you buy the line down to 6.5, I think that's your wisest bet out of this game. As far as, let's go ahead and get all markets here. As far as totals go, sitting between 46.5 and 47, your best bet's going to be 46.5 on FanDuel. When it hits these mid 40s marks, man, those are pretty tough to judge. So I stay away from the totals most of the time, depending on the matchups. So I think my official pick is going to be buying the line down to 6.5 and going with that. Obviously, if you're doing straight picks where you can't adjust the line, say like there's like some contests and stuff like that where you can only just take the spread at what they give you, obviously 7.5 is your play. I don't see why the Lions don't win this by more than a touchdown. I could see them winning by 10. They definitely handled their business against the Packers in Green Bay on primetime. They embarrassed the Packers. Now they're going into Detroit on Thanksgiving. Detroit hasn't won a game on Thanksgiving in I don't know how long. But if there is a year for them to have a powerful outing on Thanksgiving to send all those fans home real happy, this is it right here. So, and this would give them, in my opinion, a commanding lead in the NFC North. All right, so Moving on with injuries for this game. So, of course, I always go to DraftKings when it comes to actual player skill position players on injury. Aaron Jones is doubtful. He ended up actually having an MCL sprain, so he did avoid the tear, but those things take a while to heal, especially for running backs. So he is not going to play. A.J. Dillon is also on the injury report with a groin injury, and he was limited on yesterday's practice. And they were, I think, did they work in? I mean, obviously they're working in other running backs, so really banged up running back room for a team that really does utilize their running backs a lot. So that is something to definitely keep an eye on. Jaden Reed is also on the injury report with a chest injury, and he was limited. So, and also Dontavian Wicks, who also got also had 5 targets, 3 catches for 91 yards, had a big game. Highly unlikely to gain clearance to play because he had a concussion and a knee injury. So the Packers pretty banged up here. The Lions getting healthy at the right time. So if I were you, I would definitely, even Luke Musgrave has an abdomen injury. Oh, he was at the hospital. Oof. I don't think it was the issue was deemed pretty significant, and he didn't rule out an IR stint for the road. That's scary, actually. So, yeah, Packers are really banged up here. I'm surprised with all of the injuries that these lines haven't moved up even further. Maybe if, I don't know how up to date those are. Yet still sitting at 7.5 at -108. So pretty good odds there for the Detroit Lions despite all the injuries. So if you were looking at the Lions, I would highly suggest getting on that line immediately, because once those final injury reports come out, and I think there's a strong possibility that both top running backs for the Packers, you also have Reed and Dontavian Wicks that are probably I know Wicks is not going to play. Jaden Reed is going to be limited. Luke Musgrave is going to be out. You have a lot of players on offense that are going to be out, and pretty significant players. So I would hop on that 7.5. I could see this thing climbing up to 10 or 10 at most once these injury reports finally come out. Kind of surprised that it hasn't moved. I really am. But I think that usually means the books know something. They know something. They're not afraid of the Lions winning by more than a touchdown. But I think they can definitely win by at least 10. All right, moving on to the Commanders and Cowboys. This line is already creeping up to 12.5. I think it opened at 10.5. I could be mistaken. It may have been 11, but it probably, I think it did open at 10.5. At 12.5, oof, that's a pretty steep one. But they have been covering the spread 2 weeks in a row against lesser teams. The Commanders looked terrible against the Giants. I mean, they were in a one possession game until Sam Howell threw that ugly pick 6 at the end of the game. Look, I don't know. I think the Commanders are going into Dallas on Thanksgiving. Again, this is just another sour spot for the Commanders to be in. I think it's possible that the Commanders lose by 14. The Cowboys are playing probably their best football that they've played in a while. As far as injuries go, let's see, what's the line on? Yeah, 12.5 at -1 away for the Cowboys. All right. Prescott is healthy. It looks like pretty much everyone is healthy. Pollard, CeeDee Lamb. It doesn't look like really any Dallas players, I should say any significant Dallas players on offense at least, are injured. So this is definitely something to get in on. I don't know about the Commanders. Let's see. Brian Robinson is fine. McLaurin, Samuel, Crowder. Yeah, it looks like they're. Yeah, Logan Thomas on offense, at least at skill position. The Commanders are fine, but it's just the consistent play that's been worrying a lot of people. And I think the Cowboys can win this by 14 or more. Their defense has been playing great. Again, the Cowboys are healthy. They had some injuries early on, but they're starting to get healthy. They're finding their stride. So, yeah, I would definitely. I mean, there's really no point in buying the line all the way down to 10. You're not going to be gaining as much. So I would take the 12.5 where as quickly as you can on any book that you can find it. If you can find minus 11, which looks like okay, it's blank here. I don't know what that is. You can find minus 11. Go ahead and take it, but I don't think you're going to. 12.5 might be your best bet. So there's the over/under on points sitting at 48.5 and 49. Again, I don't really take these high overs. I mean, everybody was in on a lot of people were initially predicting the over on points between the Chiefs and the Eagles, and we all know how that turned out. The under actually hit. So, yeah. Cowboys, I think 12.5 is going to be your best bet unless you find that minus 11. So, moving on to the 49ers and Seahawks. I think this is an easy minus 7 cover for the 49ers. Buy the hook down to 6.5 just to be safe. Unless you can find 6.5 somewhere else, which I don't really think you're going to at this point. 49ers, again, another team that's just getting more healthy. McCaffrey's perfectly fine. I think Deebo Samuel has a clean injury report. He's fine. Ayuk is good. I think Kittle is also not on the injury report. So if there's any injuries, it's probably on the defense. But even there, I think they're just fine. Geno Smith has a chance of not playing. He has a bruise to the tendon on the bottom of his right triceps, which is his throwing arm. So that is something really worth keeping an eye on, because one wrong move and he could tear something in that elbow or in that tricep area, and then he would be done for the rest of the year. If the Seahawks were smart, and I know this is a division game, you got to look at the bigger picture here. Do you want to have a chance down the stretch if things go your way? Or do you want to take a chance with Geno Smith against an aggressive front seven of the 49ers and potentially have him end his season with him and maybe even his career? Because those older quarterbacks, when they have those injuries on their throwing arms, when it's the elbow, when it's the shoulder, those can be career ending. So I think the 49ers, a minus 7 is just fine. Another injury to watch for the Seahawks is Kenneth Walker with an oblique. Didn't practice on Tuesday. Let's see. Are there anybody else? Charbonnet is fine. Metcalf is questionable with a toe injury. And we all know toe injuries for wide receivers, man. That is always something to keep an eye on. Don't think there's anybody else on the injury report for Seattle on offense at skill position. So yeah, buy the line down to 6.5. That's what I'm gonna do, and just put a little extra juice on it to get some money. I think that's the way to go. Maybe even the under on points, but again, 44. It's still right in that area where I'm not crazy about it. All right, Dolphins and Jets, Black Friday, which is cool. It's the first time we've ever had a Black Friday game, and it's the Dolphins and the Jets. Minus 9.5, I think, is your best play if you can find it. It's at minus 10. You can buy the line down to 9.5, and I wouldn't. That's pretty much what I'm going to do. I just realized this is only for Thanksgiving. Let's back out real quick and see if we can grab they probably don't have practice reports yet. Maybe they do. Maybe they practiced yesterday. Friday. I'm just going to jump in here. Just look. What do we got? So Tyreek Hill is questionable with a hand injury. And that's the estimated injury report, that he was limited. So they didn't practice yesterday. Tua seems fine. Raheem Mostert, ankle, knee, limited. Davon A-Chain, another estimate. Yeah. If I were them, I would sit A-Chain for this week and just let him heal up. Let's see. Garrett Wilson has elbow injury. Let's see. Eyeing a potential warrant in mid-December. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe that. That's insane. So yeah, it looks like, oh man, Salvin Ahmed, I didn't realize that. He's gone to IR with a foot injury. That sucks. He scored a touchdown for them. Yeah, not really too many injuries. I mean, the big one's Hill, but I think he's going to play. I don't think he's going to miss it. Mostert will probably play. Wilson, depending on the severity of that elbow injury, will probably play. So, yeah, buying the line down to -9.5. Under 41, that's taking that under, because that means you're really banking on the Jets not scoring any points, or not really scoring many points, and their defense, despite being on the field a lot, can keep the Dolphins from scoring a bunch of points. So under 41, I think that's something I might actually take on its own. I won't really tie it to anything. But yeah, -9.5, I like a lot. Buy the line down to that. That's my official pick. As far as player props go, let's see. Not too crazy about the player props. Maybe anytime touchdown for David Montgomery, since he's back and healthy. Maybe Jordan Love to throw an interception. Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb, man, he continues to just be a dominant force. Maybe depending on how high his receptions are and yards, maybe look into that. Anytime touchdown for him as well. Niners, Seahawks. Christian McCaffrey, man. Anytime touchdown, and even the first touchdown. He has just been a gold mine for people who have been slamming those week in and week out, and he is completely healthy. So I would definitely do that. Dolphins, Jets, I would say, depending on it really depends on Tyreek Hill's severity of that hand injury. If it's not really serious, then I would look at him as overs for his yards and a touchdown. Waddle, he got involved real quick in that first half, and then they just forgot about him in the second half. But depending on how where his yards are at, that's something I would consider as well. But and if any kind of parlays, I mean, feel free to parlay the spreads that I laid out. But I think the best parlay you can do is a 4-team teaser, Thanksgiving into Friday, and just teasing the favorites, the Lions, the Cowboys, the Niners, and the Dolphins. 6-point teaser or 6.5, whichever one you want to do. But I think these spreads are low enough, even for the Cowboys at 12.5. I mean, you do a 6-point spread, that's just a touchdown, and that's easy. So I think a 6-point spread or 6-point teaser is a great option here for Lions, Cowboys, Niners, and Dolphins. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm officially betting that. That's gonna be my parlay. It's gonna be that teaser. So, yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe on the way out. You can follow me on Twitter/X. At Leet Largo, and I again will be traveling, but I'll be trying to remember to tweet. I've never really had a Twitter before, so I'll be trying to remember to tweet here during the games. Maybe even get some live bets in, man. If you're keen in on those, give me a follow. I'll definitely see if there's any opportunities to drop some live bets. All right, I will see you all later. Good luck, and may you all cash some bets this week.